This man doesn't need any introduction. He's well known throughout the stunt world.
Thank you. You know, my family's in Hawaii, and I'm heading there tomorrow morning, but this morning Bob Wall and I were working out in my gym and doing our cardio, and so I turned on the TV to watch it while we're doing our cardiovascular workout, and so we turned it to Loose Cannons. So we're watching, all of a sudden, we're talking about tonight, the event tonight, and all this stuff here, and all of a sudden here comes Gene on the screen, grabs this guy by the head and sticks a gun in his head. Remember Loose Cannons? I said, well, better the gun than his fist, thank goodness. You know. But, you know, I remember my first workout with Gene almost 35 years ago. And I was a young karate competitor and trying to expand my knowledge, and I went to train with Gene. And to say that it was a life-changing experience is an understatement. Actually, every workout with Gene is a life-changing experience. If you live through it, that is. But, so anyway, Gene says, well, I'm going to teach you how to choke, the proper way to choke. He says, but before I teach you, you've got to know what it feels like to be choked out. I go, I do? And so he says, oh yeah, you've got to know what it's like. So I said, okay. And so anyway, he proceeds to choke me out. Next thing I know, I'm looking up, seeing blurry faces looking down at me. And so I got my experience of being choked out. And it was, to say the least, it's only the first time of many of them he's done. But the thing is, it was really, you know, all these years of working out with Gene has just been an incredible experience. And I remember when Bob Wall, Richard Norton and myself was working out with Gene one night, and he grabbed Richard in a wrist lock, and that wrist was bent about 180 degrees. Richard said it hurt so bad he couldn't say, it's breaking, it's breaking. He was just in shock. And I'm looking at it, I'm watching it, you know, I'm going, oh my gosh, he's going to break it, you know? And of course he didn't, but Richard felt like it did. And then he grabs Bob and twists Bob's neck sideways, and I can see his veins sticking up the side of his neck. And Bob's legs are going like this, sticking out like that. And I go, oh my gosh, I'm next. I wonder what part, what limb was he going to grab a hold of? But fortunately that night he was pretty nice to me that night. But you know, and you know, one thing I would never want to do is get this man mad. I've seen him mad one time. In 35 years, I've seen this man mad one time, and it was at the Olympic Auditorium. And some wrestler came in, had been drinking, and he got into Gene's mother's face, Eileen Eaton's face, and got pretty obnoxious. And I looked at Gene, and I saw his face turn red, and I saw those eyes, and he grabbed this guy who was 250 pounds, picked him up over his head, took him outside and threw him out on Main Street. And I said, I never want to get him mad at me. And, but, you know, Gene was on Walker, Texas Ranger once, and of course playing a bad guy. And so we're doing this scene, and I shoot Gene. And when I shoot him, he goes, and I'm watching, and he's not going down. So I say to Trevette, I said, you think I ought to shoot him again? But he did finally fall down, though. But the thing is, Gene, I want you to know that my family did leave yesterday for Hawaii, and we had made plans months ago to take my wife, my twins, 11 teenagers, and for spring break. But when I was notified of this event tonight, Gina was very understanding. She knows how much I love this guy, and she said, you know, just come fly down on Sunday after the event Saturday night. And because the thing is, Gene, you know, you are my mentor. You're a very, very special man to me, and I wouldn't have missed this for anything in the world. And I just love you very much.
Chuck Norris. He is one guy, when you're roasting, you can't say anything bad about, because he and Mickey Gilbert are the only ones that walk on water here. God bless you both, and all of you.